Welcome back. Just 48 hours until debate night. We're coming off another wild week in the Democratic primary for governor. So who better to break it down with us than Republican strategist Bill McCoshen, Democrat Joe Zepecki. Gentlemen, good to see you.
Good to be with you.
Joe, we were talking last week amid the chaos. Another week has gone by. Where are we in this primary?
I think we've gone from chaos to fluidity. I have never seen a race this fluid. Every time you see a new set of poll numbers, they're basically already outdated by the time they're published, because right now it's a race from all five of these candidates. As quickly as they are raising money, they are putting it on TV and trying to mass communicate to get over the top. So it's very, very fluid right now. A lot of noise, not a lot of signal is what I saw in the last week.
Bill, we just heard from David Crowley about this tweet story. We heard from Mark Pocan saying consultants get out of the way. What's your analysis of where it all stands?
I still think Fran Hong has run the best campaign on the Democratic side. The two constants from a week ago, Francesca Hong is still in the lead. There were 4 public polls released this week. All 4 have her leading by double digits. Mandela Barnes is still in second place. Although some of the polls have him dropping somewhat, he's still in second place, so the debate means a lot to him. And now the variable is David Crowley's back in the race, and I've got him at third. And that's, I think, where he'll end up on the Marquette poll next Wednesday, but we'll see. He could be tied with Mandela Barnes by next Wednesday.
Does what we're seeing in the Democratic primary, is this a gift to Tom Tiffany, or does all of that vanish come April or August 12th?
Well, you're in a new ballgame. I mean, there will be roughly 1 million voters in the primary, 500,000 on the Democratic side, a little bit less than that on the Republican side. There'll be 2.8 million in the general election. So it's a totally different animal altogether. I think this has worked well for Tiffany. I think he's run a really smart spring and summer strategy where he's building his name ID and building his favorables. And he'll be ready for contrast on August 12th.
We got a lot of time between now and August 11th. Do you think Democrats unite after the primary, no matter what happens in these final days?
I would not describe this as a lot of time, but my message to Democrats is you better find a way to, on August 12th, link arms and march towards the fall, because Tom Tiffany, for all the millions he's already spent, he's not doing great either. He's only at 67%. He should be at 100% of Republican support. He doesn't even have that yet. He is a Republican congressman in Donald Trump's Washington. This should be easy pickings, but it only happens if Democrats come together on August 12th.
All right, let's talk about the debate Tuesday night. Joe, if you were advising any of these Democrats on stage, what would be your advice going into this?
Show that you can lead. Show you are not just going to opine on what's happening in the world and lean on rhetoric. You are going to get things done. You will be a good team captain for Democrats, hopefully with both a Senate and Assembly majority, and tell the people of Wisconsin you're going to address the challenges we face and how you're going to get it done. You got to elevate. If you resort to political attacks, I think you're going to hurt yourself and make it harder for everybody to come together on August 12th.
Do you think that's going to happen?
I hope so.
What are you watching for?
I'm watching the top 3. Francesca Hong needs to minimize risks. She's winning. Give your messages that have resonated with the people who support you as many times as you can on Tuesday night. Don't take the bait from the other side. For Barnes and for Crowley, they have to draw a contrast with her directly. I don't think that Royce and Brennan are going to make a difference in the debate, no matter what they say, because they're too far behind in the polling. So watch for those 3 and how they conduct themselves on Tuesday night.
Don't offend too much here, but I mean, do debates still matter? Does this moment even matter in the media landscape in the world that we're in today?
I don't think they matter as much as they used to, but given how fluid everything is, I think this one is probably going to matter a little bit more than most do at this point. And everybody's looking for a moment. All of the polls also show a large number of undecided Democratic primary voters. Those are the folks who have not been paying attention to every twist and turn in this race. If you can generate a moment that goes viral, that people see and go, oh, I can see them as governor for the next 4 years, that could be the ballgame.
Or if one of the top 3 makes a colossal mistake, that's an ad in the final 10 days of the race.
I was just going to say, are Republicans watching just as closely for a moment, but potentially a different moment than Democrats want?
There's no question about that. There's no question about that. Everything that's said on Tuesday night will be fair game in the general election.
All right, no pressure, right? Democratic strategist Joe Zepecki, Republican Bill McCoshen, gentlemen, thank you. All right, let's bring in Charles Franklin, director of the Marquette Law School poll. A new poll was out this past Wednesday, and another new poll is upcoming this Wednesday. So, Charles, I want to start right there with this upcoming poll. You are in the field again. What should we expect from this new poll out on Wednesday?
This new one will look only at the Democratic primary, but it will now have the new entrant, David Crowley. We'll look at the vote choice in the primary. We'll also look at awareness of Governor Evers' endorsement of Crowley and whether voters say that that makes them more likely to vote for him. We'll also be re-interviewing people that we interviewed this week, and that'll let us know whether individuals have shifted, especially those people who were undecided in this past week's poll.
That's fascinating. Was this in response to all the chaos in the primary, or was this poll planned as well originally?
It definitely was not planned. No, this is entirely because of the chaos in the primary field, the changes of candidates, and the fact that we didn't have Crowley in at all because he wasn't a candidate when we did the last poll. So this will help us get a sense of just how much has changed over this last 10 days or so.
Yeah, you mentioned the release of the poll this past Wednesday. It had those asterisks with Sarah Rodriguez in it, David Crowley not in it. But despite that, and this was just to your point, a lot of Dems at that moment still said they were undecided.
It was 45% undecided, a very large undecided rate. Not shockingly large, because we've seen in past primaries, people take a while to tune into the campaign. But that said, the other thing we found was that Francesca Hong led this poll as she has led the previous 3 polls. She's still at only 26%, so she's not closing in on a majority by any means. But with that 45% undecided, there's a tremendous opportunity for volatility in the people's opinions, even before you had the changes of candidates.
So with the context of our debate coming up Tuesday night, what stuck out to you in this poll in terms of where we are in the primary?
The support for Hong is very well defined. She's getting strong support from the youngest set of voters and from those Democrats that call themselves very liberal. Mandela Barnes's support is relatively even across groups, but behind Hong in almost all cases. So I think all of those things are interesting and sort of set the stage. The other thing is what people think is important. The economy just continues to dominate in what people say is the most important issue. It's the #1 issue for inflation and the cost of living. The other notable thing is that data centers, as much as they've been talked about, only 5% name data centers as the most important issue. Brings us back to the economy on all the other issues.
A debate Tuesday night, a new poll Wednesday morning. It'll be another busy week. Charles Franklin, director of the Marquette Law School poll. Charles, thank you.
Thank you.
Up next, the legal battle to revote 16 days from the election.